20 minutes, Nick.
Storm, so that's good. A little bit of broad rotation. You can see it showing up. A little bit of light green, but nothing to write home about by any means.
Speaking of home, I just got a message from my wife. We live out in that near the Farmington city line of Fayetteville, and it's, of course, the loud, I have a baby at home right now.
Oh, no.
He's awake, she's awake, so a lot of folks getting woken up right now. This is just obviously a loud storm that we're dealing with tonight.
Yeah. So we're on TV right now. We've been doing constant coverage, in case you missed it, on Facebook Live, and we've been kind of breaking in and off. And when the hail was really big, we continued to do constant coverage on TV. Now we got multiple severe thunderstorm warnings that have popped up again, Nate.
Right.
And including northwestern Benton County, other areas in Newton County. Storm has weakened a little bit, but earlier the one that produced baseballs, that's also weakened as well.
And you mentioned before, heavy rain at this point. We could see the potential for some flooding because of that. I just saw torrents of these streams running down Dixon Street this time.
And that severe thunderstorm warning that's in northwestern Benton County is headed this way as well. And that kind of looks more of like a supercell thunderstorm that could produce that potential for heavy rain as well as large hail and gusty winds. We can't forget the wind threat. In fact, you can see all the wind damage reports on here. Let me kind of run through them real fast. So we have Pea Ridge that had some damage on Highway 72. We had thunderstorm wind damage with trees down in Rogers. That was from the storm yesterday with a 40-foot oak tree that was knocked down. There's the baseball hail that was reported by us because of what happened from the Facebook Live. Right. All those reports, that is, by the way, what we call the integrated warning team. You have reports that come out on Facebook Live. We can pass those along to the Weather Service. They can verify their warnings so they know exactly what's happening and they can alert the public, and that's why it's so important.
Absolutely.
So no severe thunderstorm warning for Washington County. That storm is borderline severe. It does show up with a little bit of weak rotation, so we'll watch that as it continues to strengthen. Again, this is not a tornado threat. Notice how there's no bright greens, bright reds next to each other. If we look at the rotation indication, there's just a tiny little blue area, nothing to prompt any type of concern. As far as tornado potential. Heavy rain on the southeast side of Fayetteville now. It's lightened up on Dixon Street. We got the additional thunderstorm that's
look what's coming in, the Gravette indicator and lots of area. You
got it. And the large hail as well. About quarter size, maybe a little bit larger. Maybe
power outage in Hythe now.
All right. Well, that's interesting because that's a little bit away from the storm, but that could be lightning associated with it, lightning out in advance. So what about some storm tracks? I know people always want to know your town, your timing. What time is this moving in? Well, let's take a look at that, and we'll bring up Weather 2 if we can. And Weather 2 will let you know where this storm is headed. So severe thunderstorm warning until 2:15. It's moving southeast a little slower, this one, at 25 miles an hour. Each storm is unique. Each storm's different. And if we track that to the southeast, and I want to get that track just about right. So we talked about high full having no power. XNA is about to get hit with this storm at 2:11 in the morning.
So it's only just beginning for them.
2:30 in Tawnytown, an area that's already seen heavy rain. But I wonder how weak it's going to get as it crosses east of I-49, where that storm really overtook its environment. But, you know, these storms seem to be sustaining themselves.
Yeah, and folks in Gravette saying, hey, it's getting heavy here.
Yep. Oh, I believe it. So we literally have an update right now.
Yeah.
Ask him if there's any hail. Well,
yeah, let us know what kind of damage you're seeing, how heavy is that lightning activity, what's the hail looking like at this time. We want to hear about that, so please let us know.
All those reports are important because we can pass those along to the Weather Service so they can let us know. They're monitoring all these storms. A lot of severe thunderstorm warnings and a lot of let's see if there's a severe thunderstorm watch that was issued that we kind of missed. So there it is. There's a new severe thunderstorm watch that's including Boone, Newton, Johnson, as well as Logan County. I want to see how long that watch goes for. So this is something that was issued, severe thunderstorm watch issued at 2:18. So that was a little while ago. It didn't include Benton or Washington County until 5 o'clock in the morning. So, but we definitely have our own fair share of severe weather.
Even though we're not customers reporting power outages too that are Carroll County cooperative customers, and that is, you guessed it, near that Gentry area and all those areas that are getting impacted this time.
A lot of storms right now in Newton County, southern Newton County, Johnson County, near Clarksville. Get ready. Clarksville, you haven't really had much storm activity. That's about to change. Let's do a track on this, let you know where this storm is headed. So there's the Clarksville area until 2:15. It's tracking to the southeast, and this is moving 25 miles an hour. So Scranton, good old Marty.
Yeah.
Marty Houston's going to be getting impacted by this storm.
About 200 customers out. SWEPCO customers now in the Rogers area, too.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, we've got up weather, too, as our source. There's the track of the storm. That's where it's headed. We had heavy rain that's coming down in Gravette. So is there a go-to-bed zone, Nate? That's the big question.
Well, that was a lot of people want to know about that now.
You can, but you're going to get woken up by lots of loud thunder. I mean, thunder is loud in itself, but these are especially loud, these positive lightning strikes. So I'll step in front of the weather wall here and show you. We've got a lot of thunderstorms that are currently in progress.
Well,
Another one that's going to be tracking into northern Delaware County. That's moving southeast towards southwestern sections of McDonald County, northwestern Benton County. Sounds like we got an update to the warning here. We'll know if it's a new warning. We'll see an update pop up on the screen. Severe thunderstorm warning for Clarksville, southern Newton County, northern Johnson County. This whole line is severe, moving southeast. Boy, you take 100-degree temperatures, heat index values over 100, you combine that with a spring-like northwest flow storm system, and here's what you have. A story where you have destructive hail that came down on the east side of Benton County, east side of Washington County. Those roofers are going to be busy, especially with all that hail damage that took place. As Nate talked about, automobiles, car body shops, there's going to be definitely a lot of hail damage in association with the earlier storm that came through. We can do a little loop of this, too, because now that the storms are still there, I mean, we kind of gave a recap of everything. Let's do a 6-hour radar loop, if we will. So let's go back in time and show you how quickly these storms popped up. So nothing, nothing, nothing. This is the 10 o'clock news. They had a little bit of rain. By the end of the 10 o'clock news, all of a sudden, these storms just started popping up. This was the storm that was of main concern at 11:53, coming into the Pea Ridge area. There's an update to the warning now in Benton County. Let me get that information out for you. Severe thunderstorm warning continues. They're talking about $half size hail now for this, so it has increased in size. And damage to vehicles is expected. This is in South Decatur. So if we can bring up weather 1 as our source, there's the hail core. We're talking about southern Gravette, northern Decatur right now.
Lots of reports from people in Gravette and Hiwassee talking about how loud it is and just how frequently they're seeing lightning at this time. Not seeing reports about hail at this time for those folks there, but they are saying very loud, lots of rain, lots of lightning.
Yeah, and I was at the Gravette Public Library not too long ago talking about storms and showing some lightning video. Now they got a first-hand account of it with this storm. So there's a look at the hail core that's popped up. This is going to be moving into the...
Ladies, have you noticed your earrings aren't sitting upright where they should? Introducing Magic Backs, the must-have beauty breakthrough designed to instantly lift and support your earrings so they sit upright where they should. Just replace any earring back with Magic Backs. The secret is the easy lift heart-shaped design that securely supports your earring against your earlobe. Slide Magic Backs onto any earring post. They'll instantly sit more upright, feel more secure, and look more beautiful. Magic Backs works on any post, even dangly earrings. They keep heavy earrings from drooping, but they also keep little studs lifted. Magic Backs works on anyone, any age, any post earring, any shaped ear. Make all your earrings.
Look at the hail swath. This is the hail track, and there you see that super large hail on the southeast side of Elk.
That is impressive.
So that is, I mean, we're talking 3.5 inches. That's what it's showing. Sometimes this is a little bit overdone, but not so with baseball-size hail, 2.75. And if we look at this hail swath, you're going to notice here that it continued, but it started to weaken as it moved in. Now, we can go back 2 hours. Let me kind of zoom out here a little bit, and we'll go back a couple hours, and you can see that hail swath coming through. So there it is on the east side of Rogers. If we want to know where to send our news crews, that's where we're going. On the south side of Pea Ridge, in between Pea Ridge and Bentonville, northeast of I-49, Little Flock got hit hard. Also southeast of Lowell and Bethel Heights. Lowell actually did get some.
And folks who go Bethel Heights have been talking about how much they got as well.
Yeah, and then you look at Sonora, moving in, just missed.
And we want to see those pictures as you know, some folks will go grab the hail once it's passed through. We want to see that hail. Any pictures you've got, you can send those to us, news, that's NEWS, at knwa.com. You can get those to us right here on Facebook as well. That's very helpful. You can send those to us that way. Also on Twitter as well.
I don't know if we have the Prod PC loaded up or if we have any reports.
We don't have a producer in there right now, so yeah.
Got a lot of storms that have popped up, so.
Lots of hail north of Gravette, inch size, says Katie Spence. Thank you for that report.
All right, yeah. Quarter size hail in Gravette. I'll report it. Heavy quarter size hail. So that's, all right, so 1 inch hail in Gravette. So we're literally typing in this information. Is that in Gravette or west side of Gravette?
North of Gravette.
Okay. Got it. North of Gravette. Okay.
Got it.
You're going to see that report coming out. Now the storm's kind of working towards Decatur. So get ready, Decatur. It's coming your way. Let's go to, if we can, Weather 1. And we're bringing up Mega Doppler. And here's the storm. And now you can see that hail core coming towards Decatur. So this is a little worrisome because this hail could increase in size just like the other storm. In fact, I want to do a split screen that I control here. So we're going to look at literally the radar, the velocity, and I'm going to put up the hail size on the other side. So here's the hail core, here's the hail, and then there's a reflectivity on the left-hand side. So we've got 150 in the morning, or current radar, large hail coming into Decatur. This is going to miss Siloam Springs. But there's other thunderstorms northwest of there. I can see the purples showing up. We'll take a look at that here in just a bit. But that's moving southeast into Decatur, south side of Bella Vista. You know, it's 1:50. You're waking up. You're wondering what's going on. We're continuing our coverage on TV and on Facebook Live. And there's still people, quite a few people joining in to give us reports. So we appreciate all those. An area now that has seen hail already is getting more hail, about the size of quarter size. So quite a bit of stuff popping up for sure. And here's a new update to the warning coming. In fact, this is a brand new warning. Let's see where this is at.
There's the weather radio.
And there's the new one for southeastern Washington County. That's the one I was just talking about. You can see how I'm zoomed in on it right there. So, man, what a night, Nate. Early
keeps popping up.
Yeah, it does. We'll continue to stay on it until it moves out. So 1 inch hail west of Durham. Let's see what this, now Durham blasted with baseball size hail. We have the reports. We definitely are very sorry for all that damage that you were incurred by the storm. This severe thunderstorm warning, quarter size hail, 60-mile-an-hour winds. So this is a low-end severe thunderstorm warning. This is not the large hail like this are.
We do have some folks in Grove asking about that storm out that way. And you know, we saw, you know, some intensity out there as well.
Yeah, that's right. We actually haven't covered that yet. So let's go out and look at that.
Yeah, we got you covered, Michael.
Yeah, exactly. So we got Fayetteville, Winslow, St. Paul, Springdale. So those areas that are popping up, let's take a look here north of Grove. And there's the hail core that's popped up. So, yeah, it's an intense storm. It's probably going to be severe warned again here coming pretty soon. So that's that purple that we were showing. And guess what?
Moving, yeah.
And if you're wondering the way these are moving, they're moving northwest to south.
Yeah, you look at Miami and everything tracking from down there, going through Grove, then coming through Pineville, Bella Vista.
Yeah, and look at all that rain that's popping up in northeastern Oklahoma, moving this way. This is going to be a training event that could end up.
It's like an assembly line at this point.
Yeah, and that's what you got. So assembly line of cells. Look at the hail core now popping up. We're starting to see whites again showing up.
And black there.
And this is going to be, it's time to look at the 3D imaging.
Look at this over Miami.
Of this storm. Yeah, Miami has some heavy rain as well. So let's take a look at this storm now in northwestern Benton County.
There's the white.
There's the white showing up, and we're going to see this hail core start to increase in size. Now it's up to golf balls. So here we go. That's what I was saying. I was a little worried about that. Let's zoom. Let's look at it in 3 dimensions.
Yeah, Tim Craig, west of Gravette, 1 1/4 inch hail west of Gravette right now.
Okay. Well, let's see if there's
Jesse,
any.
to answer your question, no, not weakening at this point. We're watching that hail core right now.
Look at that storm.
Yeah.
This is what it looks like in 3 dimensions, by the way. So this is James Hilger, by the way. Nate, you keep talking. I'll take this. I'm going to mute my mic real fast.
And we're continuing to monitor these things. But as you see, we've got a lot of folks who are talking about even larger right now, which is golf ball and tennis ball size in crosses. And that's coming from Kerry right now. Folks want to know if these storms are weakening at all. At this time, as you can see, just look at the model on your screen right here. As we see, there's all building at this time. The intensity is building. Watching also these different outages. I'm monitoring SWEPCO. I'm looking at Ozarks Electric Cooperative as well as Carroll County Cooperative. We're still looking at hundreds of people, hundreds of customers, in fact, that are dealing with outages throughout the 4-county area between Carroll, Madison, Washington, and Benton counties. But things are moving along quite nicely, and it looks like a lot of times these folks are going out and the crews are actually working to get things back up relatively quickly this time. But Washington County still dealing with about around 450 outages at this time between the various companies. And then also Madison County probably has the largest. You're looking around 800, it looks like, various outages for customers out there. But check this out, that hail core.
Here it goes. White showing up. White means intense hail starting to develop. And this is developing before it falls. So we could be looking at, and by the way, James Hilger, one of our storm spotters, he says he's heading out after this storm, so he's going to be tracking it for us.
We can get some damage reports.
Get some damage reports. We'll probably get some ground video, too, of streaming
also,
video.
to tell you, because you were busy talking to James at that point, golf ball, tennis ball size in crosses. Kerry Davis saying golf ball to tennis ball size.
All right, and that's when we were saying, that's from the previous storm. Right? Or is that
I believe so. Yeah.
That's not current.
Just popping up at this point. She's just commenting right now. So, Kerry, if you could let us know that's currently or something you've seen a little earlier on this evening, or I should say this morning.
It had to be earlier this morning from that storm, which was approximately, I'm going to say, right around 1 o'clock in the morning, a little bit after 1 o'clock in the morning.
But fairly large hail, that's for sure.
So here we go. The hail core is increasing now in size. This is coming towards X and A. So high full, get ready. This is where that hail core will eventually probably dump, and that's going to be Healing Springs Road, you know, those areas, Highway 12, Highfill, and then this is coming towards Taneytown as well. Now, this is a side of the storm that wasn't impacted by the previous hail core, so let's see if this thing continues to intensify. So look at it in 3 dimensions. There it is. It's still showing up. Yeah, absolutely. So still showing up. So it's
warning Dave and our crew here, I'm coming through, so watch that mic.
All right. Let's turn off the mic. So we've got lots of, we're trying to see what time that was with the hail and crosses, and I'm pretty sure that's going to be from the previous storm shortly after 1 o'clock in the morning, which we're approaching the 2 o'clock in the morning time frame right now. It's 1:56. You can see that on Mega Doppler updating. There's the hail core now showing up in Decatur. By the way, I had reports that happened. So it has weakened a little bit. It's starting to weaken a little bit. That's good news. But still a strong storm. And we did have that report. I want to say that quarter-size hail. It was golf balls north of Decatur, I'm imagining. That's what, well, I can't remember what Nate said, so I won't type that in because I can't remember the exact report. But here comes another storm that's moving through the Grove area in northeastern Delaware County and also in southeastern Washington County. So from southeast of Durham. So I know there's a lot of comments on my Facebook page, and I will look at that on that Facebook Live here in just a bit. Let's do some storm tracks on this storm that's severe. If we go back to the graphics on Weather 2, and we can do a storm track on this and take a look at where this is headed. This is moving southeast at about, I think I want to say 25 miles an hour, maybe 30 miles an hour. Nope, looks like it's increased its speed, so 40 miles an hour. So let me update the storm track on this. And we'll move it southeast at about 40 miles an hour. And there we see crosses. Once again, another storm headed your way. And I want to see when that report was for crosses. I know, I'm confused too. 1 a.m. Kerry Davis said that crosses report was 1 a.m. And Tommy, I'm confused too. Is this spring or is this summer? It's swummer, if you will. It kind of acts like summer, but it's more like spring with these thunderstorms. Mountain Crest, Cass, you are going to be impacted by that severe storm. It's right around 2 o'clock in the morning. So I know I've got just a zoomed-in view here on my Facebook page. I know we got a lot of pictures coming in. I want to show you where to send all that information. We got a lot of lightning that's currently happening. We've got more storms that are moving in. It is a busy, busy night. And there's that hail core that's popped up. And now we're looking at a little bit larger hail just north of Decatur. Now, you had a report, Nate, and I was going to pass it along to the Weather Service, and I couldn't remember the size of the hail that you were talking about near Decatur.
Oh, yeah, that was 1 1/4 inch, and that was to the north of Decatur, I believe.
Right. So that is half-dollar size.
Oh, I'm sorry. Actually, no. 1 1/4 inch hail west of Gravette was what I was talking about. Let me look at Decatur.
Okay, 1.25 west of Decatur.
Yeah, that's what it was. It was Gravette, 1 1/4 inch hail west of Gravette is what we got.
West of Gravette, okay, yeah. West of Gravette. All right, cool. I'm going to type that in.
Folks in Elm Springs say, waiting for it.
Is that Kevin? Who's on there?
That is
Kevin Thornton? Because he's
actually it's Chris.
Okay.
Ciceri, I think. Yeah.
So here we go. Jared Furlow said that too. 1 1/4 inch hail in Beauty Road and Gravette. So that was earlier reported. There's a hail core, still quarter size, right now over Crystal Lake Airport in Decatur. We try to put all those points of interest on there so you know exactly where this storm is at. Eagle Corner, Mason Valley, Gentry, Springtown. In fact, we can even put up some Benton County subdivision. You're about to get some hail, so get ready in your
Given the assembly line of things right now, are there any spots now? Because earlier we're thinking a lot of folks were safe, they could go to bed, we're watching things as they develop to our northwest, and as they just flow in this direction.
They're still going. So that's, I mean, really,
look at it, it's just assembly line.
And there's new storms popping up.
Oh, yeah.
Now that's just west of Delaware County.
Yep.
Yeah. Peixoto, Pryor, and that's moving southeast, so that's going to come into the river.
Yes,
the river valley hasn't really seen a whole lot, but I don't think the storms are going to develop as far south in the river valley. So I think if you're watching us and you're in the river valley and you're south of I-40, south of Fort Smith, I think you're okay to go to bed. I don't think there's going to be additional storm development. All this will kind of transition south. Here comes some heavy rain again, where in northwest, so Sulphur Springs is about to get some really heavy rain coming down. Carroll County, you guys can go to bed. You're done. Eureka Springs, that will not happen anymore. So, okay, so I don't think that, Urbanetta, right? Urbanet, that's I think way east of us. That's another state, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think there's an Urbanetta.
She's saying she was in its power line down across the highway out there, but not in our area here.
No, I don't think so.
Plus, you're not seeing much rotation from the storms in our region.
I'm just going to look here.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's, let's see.
So we're looking up, someone is telling us there was a tornado.
So Urbanet, somewhere. I'm mistaken. Urbanet is Carroll County. I think there was a storm that came through there, but I don't think it was, there's
maybe a microburst of some sort?
I think it was just straight line winds.
There you go.
Straight line winds that happen, downburst, as Nate talked about.
Yeah, you haven't seen any rotation.
Yeah, there really hasn't been much rotation. Now, it is on the outskirts of the radar. It's not out of the question, but I think
Ariel, what time was that you encountered that you're saying, and what was your location exactly, so we can kind of
I'm sorry. Urbanet, north of Berryville. It's early in the morning. I apologize. Had a little brain
maybe need a little coffee.
Yeah, exactly. So Urbanet, north of Berryville, actually was probably around 12:07 in the morning. So this is shortly after midnight. But I'm just seeing damaging wind.
And speaking of damage, Vicki Ingram saying we have a lot of damage here in Pea Ridge.
I believe it.
Yeah, and we know that just south of Pea Ridge, that area that you talked about before, is probably a spot that we're going to try to send our crews out tomorrow to take a look.
Trees down, hail swaths that have been damaged. Yeah, absolutely. We're taking a little sip here.
Trying to keep hydrated so you keep talking.
Yeah. So, 1.5 inch hail now showing up north of Decatur. This is the new radar, and get ready, Decatur. It is coming your way, and you're about to get big hail. So 1.5 inches, that is ping pong size. ping pong is enough to do some damage. There's the update now. As it travels to the southeast, it's moving right towards X and A. And guess what? There's going to be a new warning that comes out very shortly. This one's going to wake up a lot more people. This is going to be impacting Fayetteville as it moves to the southeast. So we're going to talk about southern Benton County and the Washington County.
Someone just asked about, is Fayetteville okay? I want to go to sleep.
Nope.
Yeah,
not okay.
There you go. Short answer, no.
And you're going to see why, because a warning's going to come out, and the warning's probably going to extend far enough south where Washington County is going to be clipped. And the west side of Fayetteville didn't have as much storm activity, so remember that.
Just noisy, but that was it.
So there's a look at the storm. And we'll see if the storm's weakening at all. It's weakening a little bit, but it still has some large hail with it. It'll wake you up.
By the way, Ariel's confirmed that it was about midnight that she experienced that. Trees down, had to pull over, super scary, debris everywhere.
So any type of rotational, I know it's tough to know, but is there any type of rotational component to the damage, or are the trees all laying in one direction? Is there a convergent wind pattern, meaning are trees pointing in towards the center, or are they kind of all pushed down in one direction? So let us know about that.
Yeah.
But I'll definitely pass along that information. So lots of damage in Urbanette.
And then London and Johnson counties, and they're getting high winds and a lot of lightning.
I'm thinking, you know, there's storms that are happening way east of us, too, with tornado warnings. And
you looked out toward Coffeyville, that area. There's stuff and then moving toward our direction.
In Kentucky, too. Like Kentucky having storms. So now, look, there's a new severe thunderstorm warning. We're about to hear the warning coming out.
Wow.
There it is.
Perfect.
Northern Adair County, new severe thunderstorm warning that's been issued. See how good that weather radio is?
Yeah.
It really does come in handy. We always say to have multiple sources of warning. You can get those weather radios, by the way, at Walgreens, and they'll alert you if you're in the path of the storm. So severe thunderstorm warning now for northern Adair County, southern Delaware County. This, by the way, is going until 2:15 in the morning. So if we look at the warning on this, and we'll zoom in on that storm, there it is, severe thunderstorm warning. Weather 2, by the way. Just to let you know, Matt, if we can bring that up. Weather 2 is going to have our zoomed-in view of the storm with the flashing of the polygon showing you that storm as it's moving southeast.
Some good news, by the way. Most of the power companies are reporting they're actually getting those numbers to decrease at this time of the power outages. Specifically, Berryville, that whole region there, looking like power has been restored to most of the area. Only a few customers still out in that area for Carroll County cooperative customers that are experiencing sort of outages. But numbers starting to drop in Washington County, too, for SWEPCO and for Ozarks Electric Cooperative. So that's some good news. They're starting to get down. The crews are taking care of business.
I'm going to look at my Twitter, Nate, and
what do you see?
I'm looking at my Twitter feed because I haven't been able to look at it the whole time.
You've been a little busy.
We've been tracking multiple storms and multiple severe thunderstorm warnings and large hail, but I'm imagining that I've got some pictures, so I'm going to be monitoring that. I'll check it out, and I'll let you know if we've got some pictures of large hail that has come down, and I'm imagining that we do. So, again, the hail core is now coming into the Gravette area. It's just on the north side of Gravette, or excuse me, Decatur, south of Gravette. It's on the east side of Decatur, and it's moving towards X&A. So here comes a new warning, most likely that's going to be issued for that storm. I want to type in that Urbanette damage around midnight.
You know, and that's not far from Berryville, as Shannon's pointing out to us, and there was a lot of outages. That was the largest area outages, was that that kind of Berryville, Urbanette area.
Yeah.
So that would make a lot of sense, and that was after midnight that we saw those coming in. So that likely had everything to do with what, you know, Ariel was telling us about earlier.
Yeah, trees down, power lines down.
So straight line's probably something to look for there.
Power lines, and you know, I'm putting this in for the weather service, so they can update.
And Shannon says, I'm in Berryville. We never lost electric here, so it's that whole area is what I was looking at.
So it's kind of localized.
Yeah, it seems
north
to be.
Side of Berryville.
And that was about 600 outages out that area.
Yeah, yeah. So that's. I've just typed that into the weather service so they'll know, because they cover Carroll County out of Tulsa. So, trying to remember. Oh yeah, Twitter. I was going to look at some hail sizes here that we have. So let's look at here my notifications. Computer's running a little slow, Nate, so just continue to kind of talk about those power outages, and we'll see what we have.
Sure. We're down to about 400 outages in Washington County right now, and that is for the Ozarks Electric Cooperative. But if I take a look at really Carroll County is that one that we were talking about, Carroll County Cooperative, that's where we see the least amount. As a matter of fact, that Berryville area that I was talking about, that it stretches all the way to Alpera, that is down from around 600 to just 10 outages right now. So crews working very, very diligently out in that area to help out. And again, we were talking about what could have possibly caused that. Perhaps it was straight line winds that we were being told about from your viewers. And again, we love to hear about what you are seeing right now. We know those folks out, you know, in Gentry and those areas that have seen some strong storms moving through. Decatur, as a matter of fact, we'd love to hear what you've seen out there. You can hit us up a couple different ways. You can hit us up right here on Facebook, and you can submit your photos, your videos, any information. You can send that here as well. Also, you can hit us up on Twitter. And on top of that, we'd appreciate an email, because that's going to go to all of us here. You send something to news@knwa.com, and that goes to the entire news team, not just one person looking at it, the entire news team. So that's important for us to see, and we appreciate your videos and your photos as well, and just information about it, because Dan is quick to share these things with the National Weather Service to let them know what we're seeing.
Exactly, and they got that report now from UrbanNet. Let's take a look at some of the hail photos. Now, this is some of the smaller hail that we've seen, but it shows you that we've had a lot of hail. This is on Weather 3, by the way, and yeah, we do have that source up. Right now in Rogers, this is a Pinnacle Country Club, so this is on the west side of the hail core. I'm going to kind of scroll up, and you're going to see some other hail sizes.
There you go.
This is a quarter size, and that's even bigger. Ping Pong, Adam Yeager from the Pea Ridge area. So where'd the broadcast go? Yeah, we've been covering it. We've been on it, and there's the new severe thunderstorm warning. So we had multiple pictures that were on there. Let's go back to the graphics now. New severe thunderstorm warning for the Fayetteville area. Good morning. It's 2:10. That, by the way, was two weather radios. One was specifically for Washington County. Another one has all of the weather radios. So that's going to wake you up in the morning. Here's the new severe thunderstorm warning that does include Fayetteville. It's for it's actually two storms now, Nate. We've got two storms that are coming in, and they're warned for both of them. The leading edge of the storm. So if we go to our Weather 2 source, I want to do a track on this, and then we'll take a detailed look at them. So really, honestly, Nate, there's two storms that are warned on, and they're both in the same polygon. So this is a little confusing, but this is what we got. Storm moving southeast. But I want to get the right speed on this, so let me look at this. They always update that, and they're always continually monitoring that. So southeast at 30, other one is southeast at 30. So they're all both at 30 miles an hour. So if we update this track, and sometimes it might be better to hedge on the faster side of things when you're tracking storms. But so this is coming in towards Elm Springs, 231, and they said they're ready for it, right, Nate?
Yes.
234 in Tawnytown. The Blessings Golf Club, 241, 246 in Lake Fayetteville. Fayetteville coming in at 252. Now, when we look at the storm farther north, this storm is going to be impacting a similar area. But here's the track on this and the timing on that. So we've got Highfill at 245, an area that is already going to see some storms with the previous storm. But there's another one coming in. The Creeks at Golf Course, 257. Which, by the way, our church has a scramble every Tuesday there. 303 in Tawnytown.
Way to work that in there.
I got golf on the mind here. 312 in the morning in Springdale. So, yeah, serious storms coming in, strong storms. Let's look at the latest wording on this warning and see what it has. Severe thunderstorm warning, 60-mile-an-hour winds, quarter-size hail. Let's look at that other hail core. Still holding together, by the way. This storm is not dying. It still has that large hail. It's almost been sitting east of Decatur. Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, this is just
Marissa, we're going to answer your question in just a moment, by the way. Stay with us.
All right, so I've got time to answer the question.
Okay.
So
I think this is a good one because, you know, folks see these kind of, you know, these types of storms moving through, and on top of that, they have questions about, you know, safety in regard to that. And she's worried. She has kids in different parts of the house. Wants to know, should she get to the center of the home right now? We're not talking about tornadic activity at this time.
No,
so
we're not.
Let them sleep where they are.
Yeah, they can now.
She's talking about she's in Heber Springs right now.
Okay, well, Heber Springs is a little bit
different.
East, way east of us. Let's take a look at the radar there. Now, keep in mind, I've got to switch the radar in order to really look at Heber Springs. But Heber Springs is okay because the storm is south of Heber Springs. So if you are in the Heber Springs, you're in the warning, but the actual core has already moved through. So it's going to be quieting down here tremendously for you shortly.
There you go, Marissa.
In the Heber Springs area. So,
but for other folks in our areas, these storms we're talking about, we're not talking about tornadic activity. We're talking about just some strong storms moving through.
Strong storms, very large hail. Previously, the hail will not be as big. These storms have, think of it this way, Nate. If you have, let's say, gasoline on the floor, right? And you ignite that gasoline and you see the big fireball, well, you've already used up all the gasoline.
Right.
So it's not going to ignite again.
Yeah.
There might be little spots here and there. That's similar what happened with that previous storm. We had gasoline all over eastern Benton County, Washington County. That storm came in, it ignited the gasoline, storm blew up. Now it's overworked its environment. That's what we mean. We've kind of used up all that fuel, if you will, and so the storm has weakened some. But there's still on western Benton County, western Washington County.
Still firing up, but not the intensity quite the same.
Not quite the same, no. And that's because we have a lot of cloud cover, a lot of rain, cooled air that's kind of moved out in different areas and has kind of dried up that gasoline, if you will. That's a great way to, that's the best analogy I can think of to show. You have another report coming in?
I'm asking, there's someone who is commenting there's a tree down on a car in Rogers and trying to find out that location. I asked Michael about that. We'd love to know, saying that a tree fell on his father's car in Rogers. One is looking to find out where that was in Rogers.
And see, that's one thing that you got to know. You were talking about moving into the center of the home. You know, for Heber Springs, everything's okay there, but you got to be careful with trees that are near homes with strong gusty winds. These storms can bring down trees, and sometimes those trees can come down on the side of homes. So
especially look at like if there's a root structure that's a little weakened or whatever, all it takes is a good push and it's done.
Yeah, absolutely. So just to recap, lots of thunderstorms, multiple thunderstorm warnings. I'm going to look at my Facebook page because we got some hail photos, and if you have those hail photos, I'd love to see them. My Twitter handle is @WeatherDan. We would love to see those. I'm going to look at some of the viewer posts here on Facebook, and we'll see exactly what we have. And I'm just looking at this for the first time because we've been covering storms. Nate's been updating on, look at all these warnings here. I am just dumbfounded that we don't have a severe thunderstorm watch. I mean, we have so many warnings.
Just a lot of activity.
A lot of activity for no watch. This is a strong storm system. So, all right, let's take.
We even have folks in Searcy who are watching, talking about tree fell on them. Of course, that's quite a distance away from us at this point, but sorry to hear that, KT and Caleb.
Okay, so we can go to Weather 3, and these are some of the pictures. I'm just kind of looking at this. So, whoa, look at that. Those are some big hailstones. Right there.
Yeah.
Baseball-size hail, Cody. Siding, gutter, and my truck damaged. Look at those baseballs. You can see the hailstones in there. Whoa, that's
damaging
some big hail. Look at the storm. Oh, look at the mesocyclone on that thing. That is that's what we call striations, which means it's a rotating updraft. Look at the lightning coming through.
Nice shots.
Yeah, we got some good lightning shots.
Yeah.
Very incredible lightning in Bentonville. There's the storm. That's the striations that I was seeing. The hail melted quite a bit, but that shows you with the size of a cigarette lighter. There's the Elkins hail. There's some penny size. Look at these photos. I'm telling you, we're going to get some incredible photos from viewers. And we love all those reports. I did a Facebook Live talking about this, kind of updating this. Look at these people know their weather. They know what they're looking at. Look at that shelf cloud that was moving in. Oh, I bet the hail woke you up. There's the lightning that popped up. Lightning in Springdale. Pun said that. Pretty good size hail in Little Flock. That's bigger than quarters right there. No, I don't think that was a tornado, Gary, but, you know, sometimes straight-line winds can cause that much damage, too. So there wasn't any really strong low-level rotation. Look at this, north of Little Flock.
Oh, yeah? Look at all that hail.
Right here. I mean, this was a hail core of tremendous proportions. So we'll let this kind of load up here. I'll bring it up full screen. Again, we're doing this kind of during coverage, and it's raw. And we'll take a look. We'll kind of edit all this stuff, and I'll send Melissa that she can show. Yeah, the computer's running slow, so let's just...
Why wouldn't it, right?
Yeah, right.
We're only depending on it
back to the graphics now, and we'll take a look here at Mega Doppler. Yeah, we do. Let's go ahead and we'll cut back in on television. Oh, we have. Okay, great. Awesome. Yeah, we have multiple severe thunderstorm warnings. We have multiple areas being impacted by these storms. We have multiple storms that are coming into the northwest Arkansas area. So, good thing we're on TV. That's great. We're doing multiple coverage. We're doing Facebook Live and we're doing live television coverage. And Nate, you've been with the storm the whole time. He's going to go break away here for just a little bit. But let me kind of recap all these warnings. So, we have a lot of severe thunderstorm warnings. I'm going to get in front of the wall. I'm going to kind of show you everything that's going on. We got a new quarter-size hail report that's come out. And all these reports we pass along to the Weather Service. Now, this was the wind damage that happened yesterday evening. Unfortunately, that tragic, just terrible event that happened in Branson with the duck boat. So that's all the storm damage from yesterday. Or should I say 2 days ago, since it is Saturday. So this was Thursday night that storm damage took place. This is all the storms from today, a little bit farther south. Thankfully, Springfield, Branson got a break. We did not, though. Eastern Benton County getting those hailstones, as well as Eastern Washington County. So here's a severe thunderstorm warning, by the way, that's going until about 2:45. You can see as we zoom in on this storm, you're going to see exactly the area that's impacted by this thunderstorm. Bella Vista, southwest of Bella Vista, this is where the hail size is getting bigger. This storm's starting to weaken a little bit, but there's our severe thunderstorm warning. And the Weather Service has to include a really weird-looking polygon where it's not just your regular four-sided polygon. This is why we don't say it's a rectangle or anything, because they got to account for this storm that's coming through Grove again. Another severe thunderstorm that's moving to the southeast. We've got more thunderstorms that are severe over northwestern Benton County. We got another storm that's northwest of Springdale. That's all moving southeast. Get ready in the Fayetteville area. You might be thinking, hey, I'm in Cincinnati. I haven't seen any storms in western Washington County. Well, get ready. This storm is tracking south. Now, granted, it doesn't have the large hail core like the other storm, but it could produce some damaging winds. And it looks like that hail core is starting to build up on the west side of that storm in eastern Delaware County. So there's that storm. We work our way farther to the southeast. There's a storm that's moving into Springdale again. Then we got our WeatherBug Network camera at Arkansas Children's. We can look off to the north and see that lightning show coming in. We got other thunderstorms that are farther south, and those have weakened quite a bit. And this warning will probably expire pretty soon. But there's a severe thunderstorm warning for northern Franklin County, southwestern Madison County, southeastern Washington County. And then when we kind of zoom out here, we'll take a look at the other rain that's happened. We have the report about Heber Springs. That storm's weakened. And those are the thunderstorms that are currently in effect. The reason we're staying on TV, well, it's early in the morning. You're hearing the rumbles of thunder. We're getting an update to the warning right now. Look at all the hail reports that are coming out. And you can see that hail swath from the storm. We've been talking about that, and I'll post some pictures on social media and Facebook about that. But western Washington County, southwestern Washington County, southwestern Benton County, this storm is working its way to the south. So why don't we go ahead and we're going to zoom in on that. And again, this is not tornado potential. This is just hail and damaging winds, which, hey, it's pretty serious, but it's not the tornado potential. Now, we did have a report from Urbanet, lady saying it was a possible tornado that came through, damage that happens. Straight line winds can cause damage too, but Weather Service, if they need to, will go out and look at that and see what's happening. So there's the storm right there. There's the hail core that's coming through east side of Colcord. This one's going to clip Siloam Springs, by the way. You can see how that warning does include the Siloam Springs area. Don't forget, too, if you haven't had Weather Call, we got our app, which is great. If you don't have cell service, though, you need a source of warning on a landline phone, and Weather Call is one of those sources that will do that. It'll alert you if you're only in the path of this polygon. So if you're in southwestern Benton County and you're south of Siloam Springs, maybe Camp Siloam, where my daughter was over the last few days, well, you're not going to be impacted by this warning because it doesn't include South Siloam. So you wouldn't get a call with Weather Call, but you get a call anywhere within that polygon. There's a storm moving south into Gentry, Siloam Springs, northwest of Springdale. All is clear right now over western Washington County, but you can't go to bed yet because the storm is working its way south. And Nate, it's still holding its own.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I'm going to talk about some things that we're seeing on Facebook right now. Yeah. And our crew in the booth would like to just get a quick update from you real quick if they could. And I can take over for like quick 20, 30 seconds
Please
here.
do, yeah.
So feel free to jump in there for a moment and talk with them just for a moment. Yeah. We're getting some comments here from Facebook as people tend to share with us what they're seeing right now. And I want to check in right now with Savannah in Decatur. She says she's in Decatur at this time, hailing pretty good right now, and also rain coming down in sheets. And of course, that's something you can expect to see with these storms, because look at this. As you look on screen, you see the intensity level of this. You can expect to see, those winds kicking in as well. But on top of that, we're looking at a lot of different crews that we're monitoring this time for the different power companies around the region. This is something they've been working really diligently overnight. I mean, we saw a lot of power outages, hundreds of power outages in the areas, but these crews, specifically Carroll County Cooperative, doing a fantastic job at this time, taking care of a lot of those. And that was out in that Berryville, and as we talked about before, some other outlying areas where we think it's possible that some straight line winds may have kicked in to take over things there. Also want to let you know that those outages are getting taken care of at this time. Hundreds of them already taken care of. Even in Washington County, where we've had significant numbers reported there, over 400 this time. That number has been dwindling down from where it was earlier, so that's good news there. And that is coming from the Ozarks Electric Cooperative. SWEPCO has been pretty decently monitoring things, and not a lot of outages there, but we've seen outages in a lot of the counties in our viewing area. That includes Washington, Benton County, Madison, Carroll, and some of those outlying areas just to the north of us, the southwestern parts of Missouri, of course, this time, and also northeastern Oklahoma, seeing some activity there as these storms continue to come from a line. And they've just been building kind of that southern Kansas area and tracking to that that east-southeast flow of things right now. And we see there's some activity just to the north of Gentry. Bella Vista is about to see some more activity coming through. We've been watching these hail cores, and that's really been the big story of the evening. These storms have produced some very intense hail, large hail at that, and Dan's been showing you some of those pictures too from his Twitter feed to get things updated for you there, because obviously that's what we're worried about, because the damage is something that's going to be so expensive. That's going to be your insurance claims. That's going to be the damage to your cars. The siding is also another problem.
It's been a while since we've seen hail like that too.
Absolutely. So, and yeah, how long do you think it's been since we've seen hail that size coming through? We're talking about 3.5, 4 inches.
Oh man, I'm talking probably 2011.
Yeah, it's been a while.
I want to say the last storm that really impacted us was 2011. We had one on April 19th, April 21st, 22nd, and 23rd. Those were the strongest storms. So, and that's several years ago.
Yeah. You're talking about 7 years ago.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And then here we are. We had 100-degree temperatures 6 years ago,
right.
August 7, 2012. So, hey, those records and they're
meant to be broken,
those streaks are meant to be broken. That's right.
I can't say I'm excited about breaking a getting to that triple-digit figure there, but at the same time, we've made it. We knew that it was going to be coming. You talked about the beginning of summer. You knew it was going to happen. You were calling it the beginning of summer. We're going to see triple digits this year. I could feel it.
And it happened. Yeah,
it did.
It did. So look at this. So here's the storm. We got more storm. The reason we're staying on TV because we have multiple warnings. People are going to be woken up by this. Take a look at this hail that we've had. If we go to Weather 3, and I don't know if we can do that, but Weather 3 is a very large hailstone. I think Matt might have stepped out briefly. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
That's some large hail.
Boy.
That's from my Facebook page.
And that's going to do damage. If that hitting the side of your house, hitting your vehicles.
And this wasn't even the largest hail. Look at those hailstones right there. So bouncing off the pool. We'll have to see that video if that works. Look at all these hail photos. Man, great photos. We appreciate everybody sending all this information and putting a reference to it as well. This is definitely the big story. There's a storm that, that was earlier. That was on July 19th.
Just a report of hail in Bentonville between Vaughn and Walmart Distribution Center.
Is Siloam going to get any of these storms? Yes, you are. All right, so there's a visible. Let's go back to the graphics now. Weather 1, if we can. That's, by the way, our Facebook page on meteorologist Dan Scoff. So that's mine. You can also send it to Nate's. You can send it to KNWA. Anyway, we would love to see it. I know there's so many different avenues to send information.
Oh, yeah. We give you lots of options.
Absolutely. So there's a quarter-size hail that I reported from Gravette that was showing up that was earlier reported. Now this storm's coming through. One of the things we haven't looked at is the wind damage. Let's see if there's a wind damage potential with this. And yeah, there definitely is. Those are some strong winds that are coming in. In fact, we're looking at 40, 45, 50-mile-an-hour winds, and even stronger now with areas of exceeding 55, 60 miles an hour in southeastern, extreme southeastern Delaware County. So Siloam Springs, you're about to get some strong wind.
Yeah, folks in Dover saying weather's insane out here right now.
Where?
Dover.
Okay. Man, yeah. It's definitely coming in for sure.
And Sulphur Springs saying basically the same thing.
Sulphur Springs had the storm already come through. Decatur, Gentry, Highfield, Cave Springs, Bentonville. And get ready, Siloam Springs, you're about to get it as well. Now, the hail isn't as big, but it's continuing to show up at about nickel size, I would say, and strong gusty winds. So it looks like maybe this is going to be the end of the storms as they come through. So we'll continue to stay on. This warning, by the way, goes until 2:45, I'm thinking. No, until 3 o'clock. So the warning goes until 3. We'll monitor it. We'll kind of keep track of it. How's the power outages? Are we starting to get
Things
them back
are dwindling down. Yeah, there's still hundreds in the region throughout the northwest Arkansas region. Of course, in northeast Oklahoma, there's some activity in the southwest Missouri. But by and large, the biggest outages seem to be those linemen. They're doing their jobs right now.
Yeah.
And, you know, sure appreciate them. Also want to say a quick say that we appreciate our guys in the booth right now who've been hanging with us all night, too. And in the morning hours, really appreciate you guys. So much you do for us. Really can't share the love enough right now for you guys.
Absolutely. I mean, and you know, they're bringing up different sources. We're running around the Weather Center. We're kind of keeping track. And I really appreciate all the people on Facebook Live.
They're sharing appreciation for you as well.
They still have 100 people that are on there monitoring and kind of continuing to update coverage. And it's 2:30 in the morning, but that's why we're doing our coverage, because people want to know what's happening.
Yeah.
They're going to hear the rumbles of thunder here in the Fayetteville area, and they're going, not again.
Power out in Decatur.
Well, there we go.
Yeah. And that's Savannah telling us. Thank you, Savannah. Appreciate that update.
And guess what? That's from that wind that I was showing you. Some strong winds coming through, straight line winds.
A lot of people miss their garbage cans tonight, I can tell you that much.
Oh, boy. And not only that, but we've got, big flash of lightning. I'm going to bring up the WeatherBug Network camera from, this is from Arkansas Children's Hospital. So
let's take a look there and see what it looks like.
I'll bring it up.
And also, Washington County is starting to report some more outages now, too, and that's through Ozarks Electric Cooperative. I'm going to go and check in on Carroll County Cooperative to see how they're doing.
So here's looking to the north. And
Carroll County is doing really well. They're down to 233 total outages for the entire region that they serve. So they're doing very well in getting things under control.
Yeah, they are.
I'll check out SWEPCO as well.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you can. These storms are not weakening.
No.
I mean,
a lot of lightning. As you mentioned before, that positive lightning, that cloud to ground has really been something else to watch.
Yeah, it has. So watch this here. Here's the storm, Springdale. That's our live WeatherBug network from Arkansas Children's Northwest, and we're looking off to the north at 2:30, and the lightning is just constant.
SWEPCO, you're looking about 160 outages, not a lot in the Rogers area. So that's of the major power companies, those are the majority of what we're dealing with. So not a lot of outages at this time, which is good, but we'll wait to see if that Decatur area pops up to give us any more.
So again, no tornado potential. We mentioned this multiple times tonight, but you know, limited tornado potential. Maybe Urbanet. We'll have to look at that. It's suspicious on the damage that happened. The storm, it was a little outside of the view of seeing where the strongest rotation was. Oh, wow, you can see the base with the thunderstorm off of the
power out in Bella Vista after big lightning strike, says Stephen Moses.
I think I might have just saw it right there.
Winds and rain picked up in Centerton. Yeah, very well good. We're looking to the north there.
I was looking.
Thunder shaking my house in Gentry. Strong winds, says Sandra.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's on our WeatherBug network. And get ready, people in Siloam Springs are going to start commenting here pretty soon as well. This is nearly 60 knots that's showing up. That's pretty intense. Let me see if that's the right amount. So I'll bring that up here in a second.
Sorry. Lacey says, oh, man, forgot to pull the trash can back in.
That's going to be full of water.
Here you go. Reporting Siloam. Tons of lightning coming into Siloam.
And probably strong winds, too. Yep, strong winds. In fact, we got a storm spotter that's on there, so... Well, this has been a long Facebook Live on my page, 2 hours and 34 minutes. That's how long we've been doing
another record?
I think so, yeah. I can talk a long time about weather, but...
Savannah, I'll check out Empire Electric, see what I can find for you.
Let me bring up one of our storm chasers here. James Hilger, he's out there. He was covering that storm as it was coming through the Decatur area. We'll take a look here if he's still streaming. Doesn't look like he's streaming anymore. Yeah, so there's the lightning off in the distance.
Oh, guess what?
We got a new warning.
Russellville.
Severe thunderstorm watch.
Yep.
Yeah.
The National Weather Service has issued severe thunderstorm watch number.
There you go. Weather radio doing its job.
Yeah. There's the watch. We'll take a look at the watch. It'll be updating here pretty soon. I mean, the storm's already kind of come through, but we'll have a watch here. We'll update it. It doesn't have the, they're going to extend it farther west, by the way. You're going to see that. It doesn't have the outline yet, but there's the new box, by the way. I'm going to take this off of here on the watch warning legend. You'll see the box. There's the box that includes Washington County, Madison County. The county outline is going to be real soon. But this has been, by the way, be weather too, in case you're wondering. You're seeing a lot of lightning on our Arkansas Children's Northwest camera. Here's our severe weather watches and warnings. 2:30, Washington County, Madison County. There is that severe thunderstorm watch. And if we look at the outline, there it is. It does include, Carroll County is not included, which is interesting because the storms have already come through there. But they do have a tiny little severe thunderstorm watch that's going until, for Benton County, until 10 a.m. Now, we don't have to worry about storms lasting that long.
Yeah.
We're not going to be here till 10 a.m., Nate.
Yeah, and I'm checking Empire right now, Empire Electric, the suggestion there, because that serves Decatur. Nothing reported just yet. Most of their activity is reported in the Joplin area for outages.
Yeah. Siloam Springs, this hail core is starting to increase a little bit to your northwest. Let me know if they're getting some strong winds, by the way, right now. It looks like some strong winds showing up.
Right now, saying no strong winds in Siloam just yet.
Okay.
That's Michael Craddock telling us that.
Okay. Yeah, I know exactly where he's at.
Yeah.
So, and there's a hail core that's about quarter size that's going to be coming towards the Siloam Springs
Stevie
area.
Flores saying so much lightning here in West Bentonville, East Centerton, it's like it's daylight outside.
I can believe it. We can see it on our WeatherBug camera.
Peggy Remington watching from Washington State.
Hey,
Peggy, what's the ties here to Arkansas? Are you from here, or what's the deal there? That's obviously in our area I know quite well. Where are you in Washington State? I'm just curious for my own good right now.
Nate's just want to say go Cougs.
Yeah, I do want to say go Cougs. Go Cougs! All right. Everyone's complaining about their vehicle at this point. I'm not trying to laugh out of cruelty. I understand that's the concern so many people have right now. Of course, beyond hail damage, there's that, that thing, of course, I just washed my car today.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Absolutely. So large hail getting bigger than quarter size now, and this is coming towards an area that has not been ignited with, that gasoline on the ground. We gave that analogy earlier. These storms have plenty of fuel to work with. So we're looking at a hail core coming into the Siloam Springs area. Let's bring up, okay, so I've got to bring up Weather 1 and take a look at this radar here. And
I'll be back in just a moment. I'm going to check on something here.
Okay, that's fine. So here's a look at the storm on Mega Doppler. And this is Weather 1. And you're going to notice that we've got quarter-size hail showing up west of Gentry. And these have been pretty accurate. And growing in intensity a little bit more. Now, I don't think it's going to be as big as the other storms just because it's kind of disorganized. But, wow, these storms are just relentless and not stopping. This is great, though, to get the rain. That's going to be nice. I'm liking that. Constant lightning. I appreciate that. Loud thunder and lightning outside of Pea Ridge. So these are some of the reports. Okay, winds are starting now, Michelle says, in the Siloam Springs area. So the winds are beginning to pick up. And we're looking at, whoa, that's interesting. It's showing up about, close to 45 knots, which is about, it'll be pretty close to 50 miles an hour. So winds are starting. Let's see here. Definitely picking up in Centerton, lost power in Bella Vista. Let's see. Yeah, Fayetteville fizzle. And we'll see. Fayetteville fizzle is definitely a thing. We'll see if this storm fizzles out. Or it could be the Colby effect. That, too, one of our storm spotters kills a lot of storms. Getting all these storms. Yeah, you washed your cars today. That's right. Let's go back here. We'll take a look here at some of the other reports that are coming out. So loud thunder picking up in Centerton. So we're doing this on Facebook Live. We're doing it on TV. We're continuing to give live weather coverage, and it's early in the morning. There's not a lot of programming on that you're missing. These storms are strong, though. We got to let you know about it, and you're hearing the rumbles of thunder. And what's your first thing that you're probably doing? Checking your tablet, checking your phone, checking your smart device, and then turning on the TV. And so that's why we're continuing to give you live weather coverage. So hail's starting to pick up west of Gentry. A little bit of a stronger storm. We haven't done a track in a while, by the way. I want to do a storm track on this. Let's go to Weather 2 if we can and bring up Weather 2. And there's the different warnings that are in effect. So we got till 3 a.m. And by the way, at 3 a.m., we're probably going to drop our severe weather coverage because that's going to be the last warning that will most likely be issued. I don't think it's going to sustain itself any longer. Moving southeast at 30, here's the areas that will be impacted by this storm. Prairie Grove at 3:20 a.m., 3:28 in Greenland, West Fork at 3:34, Strickler at 3:38. So a lot of storms. This is coming into the west side of Washington County, and also Siloam Springs about to get the storm as well. We used to have our WeatherBug Network camera at Allen Elementary. That got knocked out by lightning. And lightning and cameras doesn't mix, that's for sure. So we got some reports coming in here. Motorhome. Okay, Oak and 8th, there was a tree over the road. It's cleared now, so that's good. Where do you guys broadcast from? We're in Fayetteville, Arkansas. That's where we're broadcasting from. So Rogers had lost power at the Walmart. Oh, I know, exactly. Tina, I hope I got your lightning picks. I haven't been able to check it out and look at it. Let's see. It's funny. People are saying, wait a minute, what about going to bed? What happened with that?
Yeah, what did happen with that?
Additional storms, I say. You can go to bed for now.
I was actually just talking to our crew in the booth right now. Matt and Dave just been pouring on that midnight oil at this point for us and talking about this complex of storms has been so interesting to watch just because it keeps generating more and more coming in from that southern Kansas area and just stretching all the way down. I mean, I think last I was looking at down to the Searcy area, but this batch of storms, it keeps just fueling more and more and more as they fire up as they come into the area.
Totally training, that's for sure. And look at this, Nate. You can actually see this outflow boundary that's about to develop. Okay, so we got an update to the warning now. Here it comes.
Yes.
Western Washington County. Look at the outflow boundary. You can see it coming in. This is the gust front.
Yeah.
On the left
some
side.
strong winds have come out of that.
This is why we're staying on the air. We just can't drop this with so many warnings that are being out and being issued. Your alarm's going off. Your phone's being alerted. This is not a good night's rest.
Yeah.
For people that have small children, too, right, Nate?
Yeah, definitely not. I know my kids have been waking up with this one, too. And by the way, Peggy, she was answering my question about where she's in Washington. She's in Olympia, Washington. And my brother-in-law lives out there, so she's interested in what we're covering here.
You know that well. Look at that gust front that's coming in. So bring up weather 1, if you can, full. This is not a wall cloud. It's what we call a roll cloud. Let's bring it up here. And you can bring me up in front of the wall. So this right here is a roll cloud. It's detached from the base of a thunderstorm, but the winds are racing out ahead of the storm. So we got the strong gusty winds that will happen before the rain arrives. Look at that lightning, constant lightning. I mean, you talk about 100-degree temperatures, and you got all that fuel, and then you combine the storm chances. That's a volatile situation. That's exactly what we saw today. But there's that gust front that's coming forward. So rain-cooled air, which is cooler, it's dense, it's heavy, is down towards the ground. You got the warm, moist air that's flowing up and over that. That's why you got that detached roll cloud. You can see it moving this way. Look at all that lightning. Just incredible amount of lightning. So the newest warning, Nate, it covers a little ground. Let's look at it if we can on Weather 2. This is a warning that extends from southern Adair County, southern Delaware, northeastern Adair County, most of Washington County, and most of Benton County. This is a huge warning.
And where does it cover to? I mean, what time does it go to?
So this warning goes until 3:45 in the morning. So the storm is it's just regenerating itself, and you see all the lightning that's taken place now. This is transitioning, by the way. I'm going to say this first and foremost. This is transitioning now into a damaging wind potential instead of that hail threat. Now, you'll still get some hail, but it won't be as big. It's not the isolated supercell that we saw earlier. This will be, in fact, a damaging wind threat as it's moving to the south. So get ready to be woken up in Lincoln, Prairie Grove. In fact, we got our WeatherBug Network camera in Lincoln. We got so many that it's such a great source that we can look at all these different angles and check out all the lightning. I'm sure we're having people that are continuing to comment on social media and on Facebook Live. So just incredible. I want to bring up the radar here on Mega Doppler so you can see this storm and just how much room it covers. And there's a lot of room that the storm covers. That's going to clip all of western Benton County. It's going to clip all of Washington County and the western portion, and then it goes almost all the way to Branson. To Winslow and to Brentwood is what I meant to say. Yeah, we got to look at this Lincoln WeatherBug Network because this is going to have a great view of this storm coming in, looking off to the north. So let me bring that up here just shortly. Yeah. Oh, you can see the outflow boundary. So there's the gust front. So here it comes, Nate. You holding up?
Yeah.
It's getting late. And as Dave and Matt said, these storms just keep regenerating. It's out of control, and they're not dying out.
Winds about 25 in Siloam and heavy rain starting. That's from Michael.
Okay.
Lightning nonstop, lighting up the yard like daytime in Cave Springs.
All right, so let's bring up WeatherBug 3 if we can. Weather 3. So here's that Lincoln storm. Can we bring that up full? Yeah, that's a look at the storm full. I've got to adjust that, by the way. Let's bring it back to boxes if we can when we adjust this. Actually, let's bring up Weather 1. I've got to do some adjusting here on this camera size.
What do you think for folks in the River Valley? You think they're
I don't think they're
woods?
Yeah, I don't think they're going to have as much. Yeah. I really don't, just because.
Yeah. Hail and Gentry, says Sierra.
All right, we can go back to Weather 3 full and take a look at this now. So here's Weather 3 full. There's the Lincoln WeatherBug Network camera. Look at that lightning.
Yeah, it's just bright.
It's just constant.
All over, too. I mean, it's a pretty wide swath of area affected. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is the shelf cloud that's coming through. It's attached to the base of the thunderstorm. You can see it right there. There's the top end of the shelf cloud. You got the lightning off in the distance. We're looking straight north from Lincoln.
Look at that.
There is no tornado potential because there's no real pronounced lowering. There might be a little bit of a drop there, but there's no tornado potential with this storm currently. And you can see how it's just kind of an elevated base. Look at that lightning. Nate, I might have you... I want to step outside and take a look at this.
Oh, yeah,
thing.
sure. Go ahead.
Can you cover just
Absolutely.
A little bit?
So Dan's wanting to go check this out at this point, but we're getting a lot of comments from people, and I really do appreciate you hanging out here with us tonight to let us know what you're seeing and giving us those reports. Again, Sierra was mentioning there was hail and Gentry there, and of course Gentry was seeing a lot of activity as we're looking at things here. This is just so much activity right now at this time, and just look at how much lightning. And this is something Dan was talking about earlier, how much of this positively charged lightning we're seeing, and that's cloud to ground lightning. And so everyone's just commenting. I've seen probably about, maybe a dozen or so comments from people over the last maybe 20, 30 minutes talking about it's lighting it up like it's daytime out there. And this just clearly demonstrates what we're talking about. So much electrical activity with this storm. And these things just keep firing up. I mean, there's a point where we're all thinking, like, we just want to go home now, or we just want to go to sleep right now. But these things keep firing up, and we're continuing to watch those for you. If we can bring up Mega Doppler again at this point just to keep things rolling and show everyone how things are shaping up. You see this activity from Siloam Springs and Springdale and Gentry and Rogers. We still have more of this activity coming through, and this is something we're continuing to watch for you, that warning coming through and going until about 3:45. Look at the size of the scope of just how much of that area is impacted. And, you know, this is something we'll continue to monitor for you at this point. You folks in Gentry would love to see and hear from you. Siloam Springs, we just heard from Michael Craddock a little while ago telling us that we're talking about winds there. He was seeing about 25 miles an hour. Do appreciate all these folks saying thank yous to us for staying up with you. We appreciate being here with you as well. And then Michael is saying intense lightning in Siloam. And, of course, we were just looking at that a moment ago. These are all things you want to be aware of. And, again, we know that earlier we're talking about these storms had hail activity, and we're talking very large-size hail. And Dan was mentioning it's been about 7 years since we had hail this size in this part of the state. Of course, I think it was just last year we saw pretty heavy hail damage coming through in the River Valley, if memory serves. I know there were some car dealerships talking about their hail damage sales going on. These are things you're going to have to worry about tomorrow. I'm urging you to stay inside at this time. We do love to see your photos, your videos of everything you're seeing in your area. We want to have you keep bringing those into us, too, because you can do that on social media. Of course, right here on Facebook, you can do that on our Facebook Live, or just send us a message. On Twitter, you can find us there. Dan's got his page going on at meteorologist Dan Scoff is there. Also, you can find him on Twitter at WeatherDan. Then on top of that, as we go to double boxes here, you can see what we're talking about. Just to illustrate, look at how much activity we see happening here, lighting up the sky so bright like it's daylight. Exactly what y'all have been telling us about here. But another avenue you can go to send us those videos, those photos, also damage reports. We want to hear about those as well. That's news@knwa.com. But as you take a look, you see just how much activity we're talking about. Such an electrically charged storm. And a lot of that right now we're seeing is just actually in the clouds there as it brightens things up. And Dan's been watching this too for you. Shelf cloud out there again. Once again, we're not concerned about tornadic activity right here. What we are concerned about is that gust front. Just look at that. I mean, just amazing cloud to ground lightning right there. There's a lot of folks that could be looking at damaged trees, and we're looking forward to assessing that damage tomorrow as well. Our weekend crew will be here ready to roll. If you have damage in your area, we want to know about it. Contact us. Let us know. Again, Twitter, Facebook, the email, news@knwa.com. These are ways you can get a hold of us, or you can simply call us in the newsroom tomorrow, too. But we do want to hear about those. But I'm going to go back to Facebook and see what kind of comments we have coming through. But I'd like to keep it up in the double boxes, that we can see what's happening with the radar right now. You can see that large parallelogram, basically, of the yellow there. That's that severe warning going on for thunderstorms in our region, as well as you look on the right side of your screen, and that shows you just how active the storm is as we look to the north. Now, we're also checking out some of the damage reports you guys have told us about. We've seen, winds coming in that's a problem, as well as the hail from earlier. But most of the hail that we're seeing at this time, not nearly as intense as it was earlier. Again, lightning picking up more intensity in Siloam. Appreciate you, Michael, for letting us know about that. We have folks who are asking about, is it safe to go to bed yet? Honestly, at this point, I mean, if you're to the south, that River Valley area, you're probably safe at this time. But right now, in northwest Arkansas, as we continue to watch these storms just generate and strengthen as they move into the region from northeastern Oklahoma, even southern parts of Kansas, and then moving through that southwest corner of Missouri, these storms still continue to pick up that intensity and give you, I mean, it's going to wake you up at this point. If you're already asleep, if you're being woken up.
Oh, Nate, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine.
I just want to let you know I'm outside on that deck where you were, and the wind's picking up.
Yep.
Starting to pick up to about, I'd say, 20, 25. You can see the gust front coming, and there's a lot of lightning, like you said, and it's starting to pick up in intensity. The winds are going to be picking up here shortly. So be aware, if you are outside and you are in the Fayetteville area, this storm is very dangerous. It has the potential to produce lots of cloud-to-ground lightning. It's not hitting yet for the heavy rain, but it's coming. So you could feel that outflow moving towards the area. So this is all outflow. There's no tornado potential with this by any means, but this lightning show is incredible, like you said.
And Michael's saying very heavy rain in Siloam, still a lot of lightning, and I hear that lightning right now, the thunder, that clap of thunder there, Dan. So obviously we're hearing it here in the Fayetteville area as well. But I mean, this is really something to marvel at, and it's something that I think has been most shocking for us tonight as we've been monitoring these storms in the region, is just how much of it and how long it's been stretching, because a series of storms, like I've said multiple times, and perhaps you're tired of this analogy, but it's been just an assembly line of activity as things continue to stretch from such a large swath of the region to keep moving through the area and giving us some really fantastic weather events to watch tonight. And it's been several years since we've seen hail that size, but on top of that, now we're looking at the winds, and just the severe potential for the lightning activity has been really something else to monitor.
Man. Wow, it has, yeah. I appreciate letting me doing that, going outside.
Yeah, of course.
You can get a feel for the elements sometimes inside
how
the
air feels to you out there.
So the wind is picking up, and the storm's coming in, and so you used to do weather, by the way. Don't you have the skills, so I appreciate it.
Yeah.
But there's a storm popping up, no tornado potential, lots of lightning, and you've already kind of mentioned everything, but I'm letting you know that the winds are about to pick up in the Fayetteville area. They weren't severe at the time, but we didn't have the strongest winds winds moving in just quite yet. But it is a constant lightning show out there. If you're wondering how many lightning strikes there are, let's just say quite a few. In fact, we can take a look at that if we take a look at our lightning query here. And we'll show you how much lightning has popped up. So here's a look at the storm with radar. Look at all those lightning strikes. I mean, this is like so much lightning you can barely see the radar. And if we take our lightning query and hold it over and look at it.
Look.
Number of strikes over 1,000.
That's crazy.
And look at the positive strikes, too. We're talking about the difference between negative and positive strikes. These are so positively charged because you know, let's face it, it's warm and humid, and you have some really loud lightning that's about to wake a lot of people up.
It's a virtual cornucopia of lightning strikes, Dan.
You got it. It's a plethora of lightning strikes.
Report's starting to rain off Weddington now in the Fayetteville area.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. And if we look at the winds on this, we can take a look here at the velocity images. So these are kind of showing some of the stronger winds, and we can look at the velocity on this. And, you know, 31 miles an hour, about 40 miles an hour probably will be the strongest out of this. So it's getting close to severe. It's still severe warned. There could be some stronger gusts of winds within that storm, so that's something that we'll have to watch. And the Weather Service is just like, you know what, all these storms just continue to intensify. We're not going to drop the warning just yet. So we got some small hail that's going to be coming down on the west side of Farmington. I can see that popping up. That's going to be actually Wheeler. It's on the west side of Fayetteville. That's going to be close to Highway 16 in Weddington. And that's going to be moving towards Bryce Davis Park. So, yeah, you got to report a lot of damage. By the way, I'm seeing a lot of damage in Elkins.
And this storm is giving us some new outages, too. Bella Vista area, Avoca, you're looking at 470 new outages just in the last few minutes being reported. And that is for, let's see here, that is Ozark. Yeah, it's just crazy right now. I'm going to go and check out, I'm sorry, that's not Ozark, that is Carroll County Cooperative. My apologies. That's Carroll County Cooperative and Bella Vista, Avoca. 470 new outages just in the last few minutes. As we look at Ozarks Electric Cooperative, let's see how we're doing for those. Things are actually starting to level off a bit again in Washington County. We're down to just about 380 outages, so crew's still working there. And I'll check SWEPCO as well, Dan.
All right. I'm going to bring up our WeatherBug camera here. In fact, I'm going to do a split screen just so you can see both of these.
Strong winds, lots of lightning, Boxley Avenue, Fayetteville.
All right.
Heavy rain on off Weddington.
So here's a look at the split screen for Mega Doppler. We got the WeatherBug camera from Arkansas Children's Northwest, where the thunderstorm is right over. We're about to hear some rumbles of thunder and cracks of thunder here in the Fayetteville area.
I might have to head out there on the patio.
Yeah, go ahead and do that. We'll trade spots, and you can give us a report out there.
Dave, I'm coming through.
So, wow. As Nate said, these storms just continue to pop up. Now, this is going to be the last of it. So I know the control room's wondering how long they're burning the candle at both ends here, but this is going to be the last of it. We've got the rain that's coming through. This is going to be stratiform rain with some lightning, but the storm is starting to wind down and come to an end. That's good news. You can see the storm popping up over Fayetteville. Yeah. So, Nate, how strong are those winds out there right now?
You know, it's definitely, the trees are moving around quite a bit right now. It's not necessarily, you know, the type that I'm worried about the tree branches breaking just yet, but I feel like this is just like right before the heaviest of it's going to come through. I'm watching the rain starting to go a little bit to the side to some degree, and there's I mean, the sky's just lighting up over and over and over again. Pretty good clap of thunder right there, but overall, the activity is definitely picking up here off Dixon Street.
So just to let people know, if they're joining in and they're seeing this coverage for the first time, Nate's in a covered area. He's on a deck. He's on an upper balcony, and he's covered. He's away from the elements, so he's safe. We're not just putting him out in the middle of a thunderstorm.
Definitely not. And the winds are blowing mostly from the west to the east here down Dixon Street right now. Watch, that one was close. Yeah, that was very close.
Yeah.
But not the strongest of winds, but definitely we'll see some branches down the area. There's no question about that.
Yeah. And so this storm's starting to gust out a little bit, so the winds could be picking up a little bit in intensity. 60 mile an hour is possible with this storm. A little bit of small hail, a little west of you, Nate. You're not going to get the hail where you're at outside.
Yeah.
Wow, that rain is really coming down.
It is. It's pouring, no question. And the winds are starting to pick up a touch.
So we got another WeatherBug Network camera that I can load up here. I'm going to bring that up from Mount Sequoia again. We had that view looking north from Lincoln, but Mount Sequoia will have a great view as well. Let's bring that up if we can, Weather 3.
Oh, rain's picking up in intensity big time.
Okay, it is right now. Yep. Strong enough to bring down trees? Not quite yet, huh?
Not quite yet, but it's coming.
You can feel it.
Actually, the wind just died down for the moment. It's been pretty steady, but it just died down at this very moment. But the rain is picking up.
So it looks like the strongest winds a little bit to the south of where you're at.
Okay.
And this is going to wake up people in Prairie Grove and Lincoln. Get ready. The storm's coming in.
Speaking of coming in, I'm going to do the same.
Yeah, this is some good rain, though. That's for sure. Some great rain that we're getting. So we're just about ready to expire that other warning. That goes until 3 o'clock. That's for western Benton County. Let's bring up Mega Doppler if we can. We've got a split screen of Arkansas Children's Northwest, or a little box, if you will. And then there's that thunderstorm warning that's about to expire here in a matter of a couple minutes. Woo, there's a crack of thunder. Are people still on Facebook? Yes, they are. Good sleeping weather. My twin's still sleeping. All right, Tina. Love that. Light wind in Siloam. Be careful dancing in the rain. There's a lot of lightning out there. Nate can attest to that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. It was pretty active out there. And like I said, it was blowing from the west to the east and been in the trees quite a bit, but not to the point that I was worried about on Dixon right now, down branches. But you know, in other parts of the area, it's stronger. That gust front was really something else.
Sorry, I just put down the thing, and I didn't realize that I had my Facebook Live pointing at a wall. So not much radar.
You've kind of been doing some other stuff.
Yeah. But there's a look. Okay, there's a look at the radar, so you can see exactly
what's
what's
lessening
happening.
in Siloam, by the way, too.
Yeah, sorry, Stevie. I know, exactly. I think Dan forgot about it. I didn't forget about you, but maybe briefly. There's the storms. That's on my Facebook page. Here's a look right now at Mount Sequoia. Heavy rain coming down. This rain is great. Doesn't look like we're going to have too strong winds to cause widespread damage. Earlier, whoa, there's a close one. Watch this one.
It's all over the place.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, crack. We're going to probably hear that outside.
Yeah, there it
is.
Yep.
All right, so that was about 2 miles away. It was a little less than 10 seconds.
Because?
Whoa, that one's going to be close.
Oh, yeah.
That was less than a mile easily. So every 5 seconds that you count is a mile. So when you're counting, you divide that number by 5. A lot of people think it's every second.
So once you count to 5, that's a mile away.
That's a mile away. That's right. In between lightning and thunder. And the lightning comes first.
Yeah. All right. Real quickly, you mentioned this before. With this kind of rainfall that we're talking about now, do you see any potential for the flooding now? Any potential for flooding?
Yeah, I think there will be some localized flooding, not necessarily the river or stream or creek flooding, but localized flooding in some roadways. But yeah, that's going to be possible. This is a torrential downpour. There's probably going to be some debris flows.
Boy, people saying can't wait for this light to be over. I'm ready to go to sleep.
Oh, you're not the only one.
I feel you on that.
Yeah. Nate, I know it's been a long one for you as well. So there's some dangerous lightning, though. So be aware, unplug electrical appliances. A lot of people saying, you know what, I lost my satellite service. And I lost my power. I lost TV signal. So we're still on TV. We're still giving broadcasting information. We're also on Facebook Live. This lightning, I haven't seen something like this in a long time, so it's been a little while. We've got one severe thunderstorm warning left, Nate. It's a large one. It includes a huge area. And that's why we're staying on. But the hail is starting to decrease. It's becoming more of and really honestly the wind's decreasing too. This is more of a electrified storm. So we may be able to break off here pretty soon on our severe weather coverage. Even though we have a lot of lightning, we'll probably stay on with it just a little bit, but the warning goes until 3:45. I don't think we're going to stay on that long because these storms are definitely starting to weaken.
Ready for them to weaken, for sure.
And it looks like they are. But yeah, that warning goes until 3:45, and that's a large warning. But I can't blame the Weather Service for that. I do want to mention, though, if you're watching, you're just waking up the first time because you're in western Washington County. Eastern Washington County got slammed tonight. Big-time hail. We're talking baseball-size hail, which is 2.75 inches in diameter. You know, that's the size of a baseball. I mean,
it's
you know
huge.
how big that is.
Yeah.
That's a solid ball of ice that's coming in at 100 miles
If you're
an hour.
out in that, my gosh,
Yeah.
you know, that's not something you want to be out in just because of how dangerous that could be. I mean, people could die from something like that.
You would have a lot of damage.
Yeah.
You'd have injured animals. Maybe, you know, hopefully you brought your dogs in, your pets in. You know, I hope we don't have our cat outside, too. That's another thing.
You know, it's funny you mentioned that because there's someone who's mentioning my cat never gets this scared, and they are under my bed right now. They never do this, so it is a lot of lightning.
I know my
It's a noisy storm.
I know my son, and probably the kids are up and at him. Daughter's probably sleeping like a log.
She's like, no big deal.
Now.
Yeah, I know what's going on.
Yeah, she's not worried about it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
My son's about 10 months old. I guarantee he's up.
He's up. He's up and at him.
Yeah.
It's real life, right? But here's the deal. Eastern Elkins really got slammed with some large
That's
hail.
the largest hail.
And that swath extended all the way from Pea Ridge southward, went through Little Flock, and went through Avoca. It went through areas on the east side of Rogers, continued southeast through Springdale, east side of Springdale, Sonora, and then it continued southeast all the way through. In fact, I can show you that hail swath. Why don't we bring that up? Let's bring it up on weather, too, if we can. And this is probably the big weather story of the night, is that massive supercell thunderstorm. We knew that, seeing it coming through. So here's a look at the hail swath. This was earlier. This is the big guy right here. And there's that hail swath that rolled right through.
Yeah.
And you can see all of that moving straight through Pea Ridge. That was from 11 to 1 o'clock, the hail swath. So when it was right here, when it moved into the east side of Elkins, Mount Olive Road, devastating hail. And that's not far away from downtown Fayetteville.
Yeah.
So that could have been.
We definitely need to check that out.
Yeah, we're definitely going to go look at that and see that hail damage. Not only that, but trees were knocked down as well.
Power out in Lowell now is what Mandy and Dale is saying.
Yeah. Quit already, storms.
Yeah.
Be nice. It's good to have the rain, but severe thunderstorm warning till 3:45. So the winds are starting to die down. The hail's not large anymore. This is becoming a big, giant cluster of thunderstorms. It is. It's just noisy, and that's about all it is at this point. So honestly, we might be able to cut it off pretty
Probably
soon.
a good point.
Yeah, I think so, absolutely. Severe thunderstorm warning does go until 3:45. I'll do another update on Facebook as we kind of push some information throughout the day. Today, I know Melissa Hall will be in. She'll have the latest. The good news is this front's coming in, lower humidity, less heat, which is good, and a lot of rain that we saw. So that
some rain-cooled air at this point?
That was the plus, yeah. Your lawn and garden got a good watering, most likely.
Needed to drink.
This is some widespread rain, so maybe 30% should have been a little higher on the rain chances.
I don't know what tells you that right now. What gives you that idea?
Those things popped up pretty good.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. So, well, anyways, thank you, Nate. Appreciate it. All righty, guys. That does it for our weather coverage. So keep it here with your weather authority for all of your severe weather coverage. If there is another warning, I'll let you know about it, but we're not going to be constantly on.
Be safe, everybody, and sleep.
Have a good morning.
Now, weather alert from the Northwest Arkansas Weather Authority.